Good evening, folks. Welcome to Everyday KT number 51. Today we get to have some fun. We're talking about leather. Now, not as much fun as many of you think. We're talking about kilt belts. Now, there are a couple of different styles of belts that are worn with a kilt. The tartan kilt, like the one I have on, has a broad belt like this with a buckle. Now, there are two dominant styles of leather belts like this. As you can see, they are very seldom used to actually hold the kilt up. It's more of a, I'm not going to say a decoration, but it just feels weird for me not to have a belt on with my clothes, so I always have a belt. So there are two basic styles, and it has nothing to do with what it looks like. As you can see, this one, it does have an inlay of sorts in the belt, but this has nothing to do with it. The part comes with what's inside, in here. The two types. One is like this one, which is Velcro. I highly suggest that if you are going to invest in a kilt belt, get one with the Velcro. The other style has a buckle and a thin leather strap attached to the end of this piece. So it's a long, thin leather strap, and it has holes in it, like regular. So this, the Velcro, is unadjustable, which is great because, like most people, I'm sure, I tend to grow and shrink over time. And with the Velcro, it works just great because you just unvelcro and adjust and you move on. Now, the buckles on these are, as you can see here, I've got the chrome Celtic knotwork birds. The Velcro, this just comes right off, see? It's just a loop and hook. And on the other end of all the kilt belts, it just has one of these little numbers right here. So, you just grab this, slide it on, and you play with it and adjust it until it fits the way you want it to fit. And then you just tighten up the Velcro and you're golden. Boom, there you go, done. So this is for the standard, I'm going to call them standard kilt belts. Yes, Chris, I was at the show, I remember. I care about you too. This is your standard belt, and like I said, it's not really to hold up the kilt as much as it is used for, I don't know, extra security, I guess. The one thing that it could be done is if you're using sporran straps. Now, we talked about these before. These are simple set of sporran straps. Oops, sorry. And as you can see, these have just a Celtic knot concho on it. That pops open, and you actually just slide it right through here on the belt. Boom, and it fits like that. And what this does is this enables people who don't like kilt sporran belts, like mine, the leather one, or don't like the chains, to actually affix your sporran directly to your belt. Now, this works great for the larger belts, but if you're going to use a non-kilt belt, it does get a little wonky, as these sporran holders are made for a kilt belt, which is roughly 2.5 or so inches thick. Now, some people have asked, what are these for? Why do you use these? Why? Well, I've been told by some of our healthier gentlemen, I guess, that these are necessary because of how a sporran strap will fit. As they're somewhat larger, it doesn't quite fit the same as it would with me. So the sporran holders are a lifesaver because they enable them to wear the sporran more or less properly without all the discomfort and other issues that come from that. So these are the sporran holders. They work pretty good. Like I said, I don't use them. These were a gift, and I use them now for demonstration only. For utility style kilts, boom, standard, regular, old leather belt you get at any store. This one, it looked up. This one happens to be fossil, so it doesn't matter what belt you wear. I've noticed that there's a couple of gentlemen who have a tartan kilt like this one and wear a belt like this. Totally fine. It's up to you. No, like I said, it's your kilt. What you wear is up to you. I would kind of suggest you always follow the old make sure your leathers match rule. But again, that's up to you. That's why I have my sporin here is a two-tone sporin. And that enables me to wear both brown kilts or brown leathers and black leathers. That's why I have it the two-tone. That pretty much eliminates all the leather problems because if I have brown boots on, they match my sporin. If I have a brown belt on, black, it all matches somehow. So if you don't like this style belt, you don't have one of these, this style belt, I know at Lowe's they have a utility belt, which is a very thick, maybe 2.5, 3 inches thick belt with a double buckle like this. So instead of this one piece, it has two of these. So it's about this big. That works awesome as well. I've used it a few times. I have one. I really don't know where it is. It's in a box someplace. I haven't worn it in 5 years. It is a little thicker. They are a little stiff. All the kilt belts, even regular belts, they're a little stiff when you start out. So it does take time to break them in. I don't remember where I got the Velcro belt. I will post a link to where that came from later. As far as Chris, you were asking about outside the waistband carry. I've not seen it done myself. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen. I'm not sure. I know that there are several holsters available that will work with a kilt. I haven't walked down that line yet. I don't know. I will do some research though as time and money allow. If you guys have a quick question about various leather belts and whatnot with your kilt, go ahead and ask it. And I'm also looking for a volume of Kiltology for the day. Yeah, there are. You can put one inside the belt. The only difficulty there is it's still semi-open carry unless you have a large hoodie, big jacket, something like that. It just varies on what state you live in as to the laws that apply to you. Chris nails it. Volume 1. Also, Chris, Garrier, if you go over to kiltrock.com, there are several threads and discussions about carry. Also in the Brotherhood of the Kilt group over on Facebook, there's several different threads on trying to figure out how that works. I know one company made a sporin once that had a hidden pocket. I don't know if they still make it. There are other folks who have figured out interesting ways on how to carry while kilted. Some of them have very interesting, like a shoulder rig, or they have a lower back rig, something like that. It all depends on what's comfortable for you, and basically just experimenting, figuring out, what you can use and what you can do. Whenever when you're out and about. But like I said, there's a couple of interesting ones out there. I've even heard of something or seen something that's more like some kind of funky tube thing. Where you can just tuck it in, but that's, like I said, it's up to you. Embossed belts. If you want, like I said, this one is. I believe it has this inlay here. If you want to get a little more creative with maybe a gold leaf embossed or something like that, kilt, absolutely. If you find something like that's that ornate and that intricate, and you want to wear that with your kilt, by all means. There's nothing to stop you. You can get as intricate as you want or as plain. They do have belts like this that are just straight leather. I've seen them painted. I've seen them carved. I've seen them with metal spikes on them, like the like the old school skater goth biker type stuff. You can literally shoot the moon as far as what you want to wear with your belt and with your kilts. Be as creative as you like. Like I said, whatever you're comfortable with, go for it. You know, give it a shot. The one thing I would make sure you're careful of is with if you have any kind of metal on your belt, spikes or any of that kind of stuff, make sure you know where you're sitting. If you're sitting on leather seats, you could puncture them pretty easily. If you're sitting on more delicate furniture, you could easily puncture that, ruin it. If you're out at a club or whatever, the odds of you bumping into somebody with that spiked belt is pretty high. So you just want to be cognizant of your surroundings if you're wearing something like that. You don't want to accidentally bump into the wrong person. They get pissed and cry foul and all kinds of other BS. So just make sure you're aware of what you've got on and where you're going with that. So Kiltology Volume 1 was the request. So booyah, Kiltology Volume 1. And we'll go way in the back. Haha, this one's awesome. I love this one. It's been a long time since I've even read this one. Kiltology number 167. There is a reason many people think we kilt wearers are more than just a little crazy. Who else would come up with the idea to throw trees to see who could flip it over straight? What about the insanity we call golf? Don't forget the wonderfulness called single malt whiskey, some of which tastes like drinking a burning log. My favorite ones, naturally. It takes a certain type of person to find these things enjoyable, and I'm glad to count myself among them. So, just because guys in kilts are a little different, little nuts, nothing wrong with it. So until tomorrow, I'm going to try to add. I'm sorry, I'm trying to put my book down somewhere. I'm trying to add more live question Q&A. So tomorrow night, if you've got questions, please feel free to just ask during the show, and I will answer the best ones that I find. Or not the best questions. Yeah, I'll give you the best answers that I can come up with as you ask the questions as I see them. I'm going to attempt to find a way to hold my tablet on the rig instead of my phone. That way I don't have to sit there and bend in to see it the whole time. Like I said, if you've got questions, throw them down in the comments. And please don't forget to share and like the video, and follow and like and follow the KT the Kiltman Facebook page. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Be strong. Put a kilt on.